Stop treating the 3D that you're currently in as the ultimate truth, as fixed, as this is what it is, and stop giving it the power over your mind. And I know that this can sound challenging, but in this video, I'm going to give you a perspective that will make it easier. And I will also make sure to remind you that you are a powerful manifester and you can take full control over what you are experiencing in your physical 3D reality. If you need a more personalized help with your manifestations, you can of course book a one-on-one coaching session with me from the link in the description box below, or you can join one of my Master Manifestor Mastermind groups, which is a consistent group coaching where I consistently support you with your manifestations. If you want to join that, please send me an email from my booking page and let's talk about your 3D circumstances and your imagination. We have learned to give full power to our circumstances. And I say this a lot. The reason we have these limiting beliefs is simply because we have been raised in societies with people who don't know that we are manifesting. So what they have taught us is how to micromanage the 3D, the physical circumstances. And then you discover manifestation and you realize that reality is upside down. It's first the imagination and then the 3D reality. But even then, even when you become a conscious manifester, because now you're conscious about manifestation, the old habit of giving full power to the 3D is still there. And it takes a little bit of training and repetition to get rid of that limitation. And that's why I'm here. It's helpful to watch videos like this where you are reminded of the fact that you can manifest and experience something completely different from what you are experiencing currently. One of the things that is super challenging for people to accept and to remember is that the 4D, which is your imagination, is the only reality. Yes, we call the 3D a reality. It's a reality that we experience, but that your physical circumstances are completely dependent on your imagination, which means that for something to occur in the 3D, it has to pass through your imagination, otherwise you can't experience it. You can only experience things that you have manifested, whether you have done it on purpose or accidentally. So this means is that what this means is that your imagination is reality. It's not fantasy, it's not woo-woo, it's the only reality. The other one that we are experiencing, the 3D, is the mirror of your imagination. But since we operate through our physical senses and the 3D is physical, we tend to see that as the reality, as the ultimate truth, this is what it is, etc. When something is not what you like in the 3D, the only way to change it in a way that will last is by changing your thoughts, assumptions, beliefs, your imagination about the situation. So what this means is that when you are in a difficult circumstance and you're focused on that, all your focus is on the 3D circumstance. So your mind becomes inundated with the 3D circumstance, which is already a mirror of your imagination that you already manifested. By the way, a reminder for all those of you who hear here and there, you can't manifest your SP because of this and that vibrational matches or whatever people say. The current version of the 3D that you are in, the current version of your specific person that you are experiencing, the current version of money, the lack of money that you are experiencing, whatever is happening, that was manifestation. How do you think you're experiencing it? That is already a manifestation. So the other side of that story is also going to be your manifestation. Therefore, as much as you focus on the 3D, or the more you focus on the 3D, the more you're going to feel powerless, because you have no power in the 3D. That is a mirror. And the people in the 3D are also a mirror. Neville calls them messengers. People are messengers telling you by their behavior toward you what you are assuming to be true. People are messengers. Every 3D circumstance is a mirror, which brings us again back to the fact that imagination is the only reality. How do we know this? You can test it. This can be tested, and I highly recommend it. But in order for this to test, in order for you to test this, you need to remove your focus from your 3D and start imagining things the way you want. If there's something that you need to take care in the 3D, you have a circumstance that you need to do something about right then and there, do that. This is not about that. This is about those times during the day where you go about your life and at the same time you are imagining the problems. You are imagining the things the way they are. You are using your imagination, this powerful tool that you have, to manifest more of what you don't want. And most people do this without noticing that they're doing it. So you need to remind yourself that the situation you are in right now was manifested by your imagination. Which means that in order to change that, you need to go back and use that same imagination and imagine something different. For those of you who are dealing with an SP who is either distant or not choosing you or behaving in a way that you don't like, instead of imagining them the way they are, instead of complaining about it in your mind because of what they do or don't do, which isn't helping you, it's not solving any problem. Can anybody tell me that you have done this, complained about something in your head, and then magically it changed and became what you wanted instead? That's not how it works. So instead of imagining your SP the way you don't like them, imagine them the way you want them to be. The same goes for your bank account. The same goes for your health and friendships and whatever you are dealing with, your job, coworkers, anything that you are dealing with. And remember that when you are imagining or thinking thoughts, also known as affirmations, it's not just something that you do and at some point it will maybe start manifesting if you work hard or whatever assumptions people have. That is reality. That is your tool to experience your 3D reality. And you can use that on purpose. You can imagine your SP being in love with you and choosing you. You can do that on purpose. They're not going to stop you. Your SP is not going to stop you from imagining them being with you or affirming. It's the same thing, affirming them being with you. Nothing is going to stop your money from coming in if you imagine having it constantly. So what I'm trying to say is that you need to make it a habit to remind yourself that your imagination is a serious thing. And Neville Goddard, when he was teaching this, he often said, make sure you don't misuse it. Meaning, imagining things that you don't want to experience, imagining things that are negative, that harmful, whatever it is, stuff that you just don't want to experience, which is something a lot of people do without realizing, such as continuously imagining your SP being the way they are. That's not good for you. You don't want that. Or continuously focusing on the fear and the lack and all the problems around money. You don't want that. That creates problems for you. That creates similar circumstances for you. And you have the power to choose your thoughts, shift focus. Who is going to stop you from imagining abundance? Who is going to stop you from imagining health and well-being in your own body, or that house that you want? So remember that your imagination is reality. This is not, and it's constantly working. This is also something else that is worth remembering, that it's constantly manifesting. Whether you like it or not, it's not something we switch on and off. It's something we control, we direct. And you can live in a 3D circumstance while doing something completely different in your mind. This is a power that you have. You can look at yourself. This is the example that I use often. If you were, for example, someone who was manifesting weight loss and you're currently dealing with maybe you're overweight, just an example, it could be the opposite. You look at yourself in the mirror, nothing is going to stop you from thinking, I am thin and fit and feel good in my body. Or the opposite, if you're manifesting weight gain instead, or something else, muscles, whatever it is, better looking skin, different kind of hair, it doesn't matter. You can see yourself in the mirror and then go inside your imagination and imagine yourself differently. You can do that. You can see your bank account. You can know that's the salary that you receive every month. But nothing is going to stop you from imagining a different amount in your bank account every month. You can experience your SP being distant. Maybe they've blocked you even. This is why we often talk about that circumstances don't matter, because even if they have blocked you, you can imagine having conversations with your SP. Nothing is going to stop you from doing that. The only thing that is stopping you from doing that is your attachment to the current reality, as if that were the reality. As soon as you tell yourself and remind yourself that this is not the reality, this is the mirror. And not to diminish anyone's experience, we do this in order to experience it in the 3D. But to understand that this is my manifestation, this is just a mirror showing me what I have been doing in my mind, that creates this detachment. These are not words that I use often because they have been misused so much in the manifestation community that I try to not use them as much, but that's what it is. It like takes the emotional clinginess away when you realize that, okay, whatever I'm experiencing, this is my manifestation. This is a mirror showing me that I have these assumptions, that these are the stories that I tell myself. And when you change your stories, the things that you tell yourself in your mind, you shift your focus again and again and again and again, you start creating a completely different reality in your mind. And that reality has to show in the 3D the way your old story was showing up until now. And again, this is why we often talk about how to ignore the 3D, the circumstances don't matter, etc., etc. That's simply because that you don't ruin your manifestation. Even if you accidentally manifested something messy, it doesn't matter, because you can take whatever you have, go inside your imagination and change that completely. Persist in that, and that will have to manifest, just like that messy situation manifested. Your 3D is constantly molding and shaping based on what you are doing in your mind. Constantly. Even if sometimes you may feel that you're stuck, that stuckness is not stuck, because, as I said earlier, manifestation doesn't stop. It's just that when you continuously tell the same stories in your mind on repeat, the complaint, the problems, the current circumstance, sometimes maybe it's not even negative, but that's in your mind or on your mind. again and again, that keeps manifesting the same thing over and over again. And what ends up happening is that you continuously experience the same 3D circumstances, and then it feels like stuck, but it's not stuck. And because of this, sometimes people think that, this has been going on for such a long time. I have had these beliefs for such a long time. Now it's going to take me 10 years to change a belief. That's not what happens. Your mind doesn't care how long you have been experiencing something. What your mind cares about is what you are doing from now on. It's always the now, in this moment. What are you experiencing? In 5 minutes, it's still going to be in this moment. What are you experiencing in your mind? Because that has to show up in the 3D. If persisted in that instead of the old. So always remember this, remind yourself. If not, come back to this video or any other of my videos, because I keep saying the same thing in different ways, that your imagination is the reality, the only reality. Your 3D reality is a mirror showing you, proving your assumptions back to you. That's what it is. It's like this self-fulfilling prophecy. Whatever you keep assuming to be true, it has to be proven to you in your experience. Try to assume something different and do it on repeat and see what happens. And you will see the change. And this is what I mean when I say it can be tested. Because how do we know this? We test this. And you do this with everything. You can do this with everything. It's not just your SP or your money or whatever big thing that you're manifesting. It's everything else also. Manifest smaller things as you go. The parking spot or any practical thing that you may need during the day. You have your imagination with you wherever you go, so you might as well use it to your advantage and create circumstances that you actually desire to experience. And this is exactly how you control your experiences. You manifest them. And yes, you can. You can do it. And yeah, if you're repeating, I can't, this is too difficult, etc., remove that from your vocabulary. That's affirmations. You don't want to affirm that. These are assumptions. You don't want to keep assuming that. So if you need a more personalized help with your manifestations, you can, of course, book a one-on-one coaching session with me from the link in the description box below. I would love to help you with anything that you are manifesting. You can also join one of my Master Manifestor Mastermind groups, which is a more consistent support with your manifestations again. It's a specific work that we do just in groups, but we talk about your manifestations, your circumstances, the struggles that you are facing, etc., in order to give you a more consistent support. Again, I'm repeating myself, and to help you do the work, which is super important. In order to join that, you can send me an email from my booking page. Have a beautiful day and see you in the next video.